My heart's beating about 1,000,000 miles an hour. I text the wholesaler who has the property about the 250 and can we lock it up? And I also said, hey, they said the deadline was at like 2 o'clock. It's now 2:10 p.m. And I was like, do we need? He goes, I'm gonna let you know about 2:05. Well, I'm sitting here like tapping my feet, tapping my thumbs, going through the worst things that can happen, and I'm gonna lose this. And he just texted me, so I'm gonna read it in front of you. And I am like shaking right now. Okay, I got it for you. I'll send over the assignment and everything in a little. Holy shit. What did I do? Okay, here's my first and foremost thought. It's like I don't even believe this yet. Like I still feel like something else could happen or I'll lose it. But according to him, he got it for us and he's going to send us everything over here in just a little bit. So like I think I just bought my first investment property, my first flip with hard money. Holy, I can't believe it. This is one of the scariest things ever, but most exciting things ever too. So, oh. All right, I'm going to see what this assignment looks like. I'm going to get all the information. I'm going to talk to the hard money lender, like everything. And now the only issues, I think they wanted to close here by like the 22nd. It is the, what did I say, 13th today? I'm like all over the place. And I got to make sure I can get, my hard money guy to close in time. I did meet the guy at the house. He does hard money. He's like, I could close that no problem before that date. So if this guy, which I want to use, Joe, he's been such a huge resource for me. He, giving me the information of hard money, which when I first heard the term hard money, I thought like I was doing something illegal. It just didn't seem right. But the way that he, opened up or gave me the information about it and eased my mind. And now I know why so many people leverage it. He's just been an amazing resource. So that's what I highly recommend. But yeah, hopefully I hear from everybody soon and get this thing wrapped up. All right, my wife just got home, so I'm going to break the news to her that we just bought this flip. And as you can see, we're doing a full kitchen remodel right now. And she had a nasal septum surgery. She couldn't breathe. So all of this is going at once, and we bought our first flip. So it couldn't get any crazier than this, but you just got to do what you got to do. Okay, I think she went in the front door, chasing her around the house. Where did you go? Oh, we got our first flip.
Wait, what? What?
I know, I'm like,
oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
I'm freaking out a little bit.
I am freaking out.
But we're gonna do this.
Oh my
I put it out in the air. Remember,
Dude,
like 3 days ago, I was
wow.
like, we're gonna get a property. And we were able to close on it at 250, not 260.
They took it at 250?
Yep.
So, okay.
Closing on the 22nd.
You don't want my big schnozzing on this?
Well, I told them you got nasal septum surgery. So,
A little swollen.
a little swollen, but we got our remodel going, and now we got a full flip going.
Oh my gosh.
This is the real
I'm
deal.
shaking.
I'm shaking too. So, I'm going to document all this because, again, it's like there's no perfect time to do any of this, but holy crap.
We're doing it.
Let's go. Number 1 of 20 this year. Let's go. All right. So, again, I'm like, I can't believe this. So, I talked to my hard money guy. He's so excited for me. He's the one who told me just go in at 250 and tell him let's lock it up right now. So that's a great lesson for us all to learn. Everybody out there is going to always try and get a little bit more, and a tactic might be, hey, we've got multiple offers in. If you lose out on one, that's great. But again, being able to calculate your numbers is really important. I knew even if we had to go to 260, even possibly 270, like I still feel like there's pretty good room there. But we've talked all worst case scenarios, but best case scenario, if I'm just doing the math, $250,000 plus $80,000 in reno. So we'll do $80,000 in reno. And obviously, the math, I do too. You got $330,000. And let's say on the high end, we don't get $455,000, but we get $440,000. You're looking at $110,000. Now, of course, I've got to pay a monthly fee towards, and I do have to put money down, that $15,000 down or whatever. But that's also towards the total cost. So it's not like I lose that $15,000, but I do lose my monthly payments. So when I go to repay that loan back, that $15,000 that I put down, is minus the total loan amount, right? So, but I do have to cover that $3,000 to $3,500 a month, which you know, I can, and it's better than me using all of my cash up front. So let's say at 4 months, you know, so we have $110,000. Let's say 4 months of 3,500, which is 14,000. So you're at 110,000, you know, minus 14,000. We're at 96,000 right now. To sell it, you know, if you get relationships, I have a real estate partner. My goal is to have him sell it at a 1%. So he'll make 1%. So if we sell it at 440, he gets $4,400. But he's obviously going to do a lot of these for me, and we have a lot of other business together. So making a good relationship with a real estate agent who isn't just cheap. Joe's also one of the best real estate agents out there, knows how to negotiate like crazy and knows how to market. But this is an added bonus that I have knowing real estate agents. But that would be 4,400. But the buyer commission here in Houston is 3%. So the agent that is representing the other side will get 3,000. So you've got 4% there of the total cost. So if it's $440,000 times 0.04, 17,600 in commissions. So we're at 96,000 minus 96,000 minus 17,600. You're at $78,400. So, you know, that's kind of like best case scenario. Now there's other, you know, little things that come up here and there in appliances, but we've got a real good shot at making $70,000 to $80,000 on this flip. And I think really low end, you know, $40,000 to $50,000. But man, that is, when you think about investing, right? So if I put my money, you know, and I'm gonna put in 15,000 of my own, which goes to the down payment, I'll get back. So I'm basically paying the hard money loan at 3,500 a month. You know, I'm gonna spend about 15,000 here. You know, and you have the ability to make 60, 80,000 return. You're talking massive returns comparative to, you know, stock markets or any of that. So, you know, if I can recap $50,000 to $80,000, those, you know, I could go out and buy a few other properties to build my net worth. So I can't believe it. You know, this is freaking it, guy. You got to, if you want to do this, you just got to start taking, you got to reach out to everybody. You got to talk to as many people as you possibly can. I've literally every day, I made it a goal of myself to talk to one person a day about investing. About, hey, do you have any properties? Do you know anybody who has properties? I'm looking to build my real estate portfolio. Everybody's been so open to it. I can't believe it. I have a meeting tomorrow morning with a gentleman who's in his 70s, and he has a huge referral network group. He has lived here forever. He knows everybody. And those are the type of people that may have 10 properties, 20 properties, and they're tired of renters. They've just had them too long. They'd like to get rid of those properties. And that's what I would love to get. So, man, just asking people about it has really opened a lot of doors. And I think it's what you just got to do. So, all right, and I just learned that $5,000 down is the earnest money deposit. So the earnest money is going to be $5,000, and I got to go get that. I got to go to the bank. I'm also going to, while I'm there, create a separate bank account to just track every single expense in here, so that my CPA, you know, can track, or I know exactly what goes in, what goes out. So let's go. So I just went through about an hour and a half of trying to figure out what to put down for the contract name. I didn't even think about this, and it wasn't something that we had set up. And why it's important is because when you're doing flips, gonna, you know, hold properties, you want them to be in an LLC. This protects you as an individual in case anything goes wrong. They can only sue or get what's in that LLC and not what you have personally. So it's not a lot of stuff that I am, you know, 100% up on, but my CPA has always preached. Well, it comes down to, you know, getting the contract, and they're like, well, what name do you want to put? And I was like, at first I put my name, you know, Jack, and I'm like, whoa, I don't want this in my name. I need it in an LLC. Well, my LLC currently is for all of my real estate stuff, and I don't want a flip in there to where somebody could actually, you know, or if something went wrong, they could come after my LLC. And the whole time my wife's had this LLC that she's never used. That was our plan was to use that. So we went into, figuring that out. Well, come to find out, her LLC it's actually frozen right now. She created it, a year and a half ago, but never did anything with it. And so we didn't actually file that, even though she made no money and it won't cost us anything. We have a late fee now. So you have to get a web file number. We have spent like an hour and a half calling everybody, going online, and now we actually have them mailing us the web file number. We can go online, we can pay actually the late fee of $50, but now that LLC will be activated, and it leads to further questions. For me personally, do I put my name on that? So again, I'm learning all this. I'm just going to be an open book to you guys. You guys can comment down below everything that we've done wrong, and actually what it does is it helps not only me but everybody else to learn from these mistakes. And throughout this channel, I'd like to actually get people on and interview them exactly how to set this stuff up, because here I am, I got the hard money, I've got the property under contract, it's amazing, and then all of a sudden, holy shit, now I've got to figure out what LLC to put it under. The LLC's frozen. Do I need to be on the LLC? We're gonna get it solved. We're gonna get it figured out. I actually called my CPA. He's supposed to be calling me back here in a little bit, and that's what we're gonna, we'll focus on, in some other future videos, is exactly how to set this up, get it set up so that you're ready to go as soon as you find a property. So it's been a heck of a day. I feel exhausted, like going through all this. It's very, mental and physical, but I love it. It's amazing. I'm ecstatic, but I still feel like I got a few things to go. But I actually just sent over my wire of $5,000 to hold the property. So shiz is getting real, and the contract is coming over any minute for me to sign. So we should have our first flip with hard money going under contract here this afternoon or tomorrow morning. Okay.
Sounds like you're also staying busy with business and flips.
Dude, I know. So it's kind of crazy because we're also renovating our house at the same time, but it's all good. This is what I've been working really, really hard to, is just to find my first property, and then it came quicker than I thought. But good news is we're getting locked into it. It should be a pretty good flip. And then I realized, holy crap, I don't have like an LLC set up or anything. So I need to pick your brain on exactly what the best thing to do is. Just tell me what to do.
Yeah, here's the thing. When you flip homes, they're ordinary income items. Ordinary income, not capital gains, because you're in the business of flipping homes. And so that's business. That's, ordinary income. And ordinary income, we don't like to receive directly. We want it to go through an S corporation. So The answer is one of two things. Either you want the income to go through your S corporation, which you could do by having it directly owned by your S corp, or creating an LLC owned by your S corp, or you would set up a whole new S corporation if you didn't want it commingled with your current S corporation. My recommendation, for simplicity, and so you don't have to file a bunch of other returns, I'd probably set up an LLC that was owned by my S corp. Probably what I would do, because that just keeps down on, you don't have to do additional payroll and all that other stuff. So that'd probably be my route. Now, the only reason why you wouldn't do that is if you go, no, there's like super high liability in these flipping homes, James, and I want that completely separate from all my other businesses. And then I'd say, okay, well, then we can look at doing a new S corp. But that, that has additional payroll requirements and all that kind of stuff. So we don't want to do that unless, for a legal reason. Unless there's a legal reason why you're...
No, I mean, we're going to be doing flips, and then we're also going to be doing buy and holds. So I do feel like I'll probably separate those two out. And then I don't really want to use my current LLC, that you're managing for this flip in case something went wrong, correct?
Yeah, that's normally, like when you're doing this type of thing, you do want some separation of liability. So you might go, I'm going to do, I don't even know, Wilkie LLC, Wilkie Flips LLC or whatever. I'm just making something up. I'm going to do its own LLC. That by itself will create some liability protection. If something happens, then someone should only be able to go after the LLC. But then I normally make that LLC owned by my S corp because the tax implications, and I normally would not set up a whole other S corp. So I agree. Yes, I think you should do a separate LLC, but I think the LLC can be owned by your S corporation and accomplish everything you want.
So how do I do that quickly? I mean, so I didn't know what to do, and my wife has an LLC that she's never used, and so we were thinking of just using it for the flips.
Yeah, and that's okay. So then what you would do in that case is at some point you would have to make sure that LLC is registered with, the state, and then, or whatever state that it's in, and then you'd have to update that state to let them know that your S corporation is going to be the owner. So if she hasn't, what's her LLC name right now?
Okay, she has Jill's Deals LLC. She got it in March of 22. We found out that we didn't file that she made no money, and so it is frozen right now, but we got the WebOS number coming in the next few days, and we're going to pay the $50 late fee, and it's going to be reactivated. So it'll be good.
Cool. So what you could do is you can use that. Go, okay, we're going to use this LLC, but then at some point I would update the state and let them know that LLC. At some point, you don't have to do it right away. At some point, update the state and let them know that the owner is your S corp.
Okay. Would we want to do that before we sold, or is that just like, okay?
I mean,
as long as we can prove it this year, whatever.
Technically it should be before you sold the property because it's the income. That's when the income hits, technically. I've never had the IRS care as long as you show the intention.
Yeah.
But I mean, yes, for the best practices, before that property sells, it would be nice if you went on the state Corporation Commission website and just let them know of the change in ownership.
Okay, so let me get this straight. She has her LLC. I'm not on it, obviously. We're going to use it as the name for this flip. We're going to get it reactivated, all that stuff, and then I'm going to go to the state of Texas and say, hey, my S corp actually owns Jill's Deals, and they're going to be like, okay.
Yeah, basically that's what they're going to, because right now with the state, you would have said that your wife owns the LLC. She's the member of the LLC.
She is the member. She's the only member, yeah.
Yeah, and so at some point you're going to go to them and go, oh, you know what, we're switching members from her to my company.
Okay. And then does she stay on it?
You could, or she doesn't have to.
Okay. Her to...
I normally would not have her on it individually because it just can confuse the issue. But, I would just swap out the members to be the S corp, but it's up to you.
Perfect. That makes sense. We will use Jill's Deals LLC to sign this contract. We're going to, by next week, have it ready to go, unfrozen. And then once it's ready, I will, and we just do that through the state, through the Secretary of State or whatever. But hey, we're going to switch this LLC, Jill's Deals, to now it's owned by Jackson Wilkie Properties LLC.
That's right.
Okay. And that's just for this flip. Going forward, I mean, we could probably just continue to use that, Jill's Deals, for flips. What I'm thinking I basically do right now is, if this comes up, is building or having another LLC owned by my S corp for anything that we buy long term.
Yeah, we can definitely talk about that. There's normally someone will just have one entity that holds all their long-term rentals. Normally, depending on the dollar amount of property in there, sometimes you'll break those out into a couple LLCs.
Yep.
Just in case if someone gets injured in a property or whatever, you don't want them to try to go after the total company. But we can talk about it. I agree with you that, yes, your flips should be held in a different LLC than your long-term holds at a minimum.
Okay, that works. We will get this under contract under Jill's Deals, get it going, and then we will swap it to where Jackson Wilkie Properties owns. My S corp owns that instead of her, and then she just I'm sure she has to sign off on that or whatever, and then they'll switch it over to I own it.
Yeah, well, technically your S corporation owns it, but yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. Okay, and then and then going forward, and then what I'm going to do too is I'm going to create another Wells Fargo, another bank account to track.
Every LLC should have its own bank account.
Yeah, and so that way this flip, even though I'll fund it with my business account, but everything will come in and out of there through that account, and then we can separate it.
Yep, that is the best thing you could do.
Okay, cool. Well, that was it. Thank you so much for reaching back out to me. It's funny, I get it under contract, and he's like, what's the name on the contract? And I'm like, shit, I don't even know.
I don't know.
I don't want to put my personal name, and I don't want to put my LLC. I want to separate it, and I don't. So then I'm like, hitting my wife up, I'm like, you still have that LLC? She's like, yeah. And then we look and it's frozen. I'm like, shit. So.
Oh, it's funny how that works.
I know.
It all worked out in the end. You got it, and you'll get it switched up. And then once you get those documents, if you could send them over to me or Mike, just so I can make note of it for next year, that would be great.
Perfect. All right. Well, yeah. All right. So I had to wake up pretty early in the morning. It's Friday now, so it's been about 2 or 3 days after purchase. Trying to be quiet. My kiddos are sleeping down the hall, but a few things that have just come up. Extreme confidence from, hard money lender, everybody involved, no problem. But that quick close date of now, 1 week from today, we had about 8 to 9 days to really do this. So what I got up, this morning to work on is the process of getting the hard money. So you've got to be able to put in your LLC filing, certificate of formation, operating agreement, EIN number, all of those things. So, if you're doing this, you've got to have an LLC set up. Obviously, I have mine for my personal business, for my business, but I don't want to use that. like we mentioned before. So maybe I'm the only idiot in the world, but these are the things that you need to set up ahead of time because you just don't know when you're going to find a property and you might only have 9 days to close. So here's what I'm going to do. My wife has that LLC, and what we found out was she created it basically a year and a half ago and didn't do anything with it. It was a business that she was thinking about doing. So we never filed that she made any money or no money, right? No big deal, but they freeze it, right? And so to unfreeze it, you have to have this web OS number. Well, they won't give that over the phone. So they're mailing it to us, and we should have it next week early, Monday or Tuesday. That would allow us to go in, pay the late fee, and then it would be good. So I thought, okay, I can do that, and then I'm going to do backup. I reached out to my CPA and I said, hey, how much and how long would it take for you to create me, a new LLC, have it under my stuff? Because I talked to my CPA, and he told me basically, even if you have Jill's, my wife's LLC, eventually what you're going to want to do is as soon as you establish it, go in and say, hey, I'm the new owner of this LLC. I think that's kind of too many steps. It doesn't seem too hard, but I'd rather just, if I can, create a new one. He said maybe 1 to 2 days. So with that, I've got, 2 different ways. Today, I'm going to have a talk with the CPA and see if they can get this formed. And it might be something where early next week, I've got a fresh LLC. Then I can get the certificate of filing, formation agreement, EIN, all that stuff set up. And they'll do it for me. Yes, this is an additional cost, but hey, if I can just get it done quickly, this is something that I just stress to you. Get all this stuff set up ahead of time. And I'm sure most people do, but I didn't. Next up is the rehab budget. So if you're going to go into this, you got to have your contractors, and you want to really, imply to them that, hey, not only do I want you to give me a budget on how much, but can you please be writing it down? Give me an actual rehab budget of what you think. So that's one thing that's holding me up right now. And not holding me up. The process is moving along. So I wouldn't say holding me up. It's just things that I have to get out really, really quickly in order to get approved for the finances. So other than that, it's been a pretty smooth process. And working with Joe, with the hard money and actually Quick Lending, he partnered up with Quick Lending, another company, to try and get this done quick. And so I'm going through all the files here, uploading 2 months bank statements. You got to be able to prove liquidity on the loan that you can pay these monthly, interest only payments. So that's another thing. Make sure you got an account. Make sure you've got enough in there that you can prove that you can, pay basically 6 months of the interest only payments. So at $3,000 or $4,000, whatever it is a month, you've got to have that $15,000, or more in that account to show it. So those, again, I'm setting you up so that when you do this, it's just bang, bang, bang. You're going to have it set in. So we're going to finish the rest of the day. I'll keep documenting what's going on. Today's probably going to be a busy day with, getting this thing moving along before the weekend. All right, so we have progressed a little bit, and I just need to show you this. Again, I'm so new to this stuff. I feel like an idiot, but this is from Joe. So Joe Davis, my hard money lender. I think I mentioned it before, but he had passed me along to Quick Lending. So this is a bigger hard money company, and Joe has been amazing. He could do it too, but he said, you know what? This is your first one. You got a lot of stuff going on. Quick Lending's been doing it for a long time. They could probably get it done quicker and in time. So that's the only reason I got the referral. So I'm just trying to get this done. Well, what I found out is that not only do you need an LLC to protect yourself and all that, like I said, I didn't even know that you need an LLC just to get hard money. Hard money lenders will not loan out to an individual. They will only loan out to an LLC. So I have to have this LLC going. We've already kiboshed using my wife's. I'm going to get a new one. So this is where I'm at in the process. And in order to get this thing closed, today is Friday. We are closing in 7 days, next Friday. So I have to get this thing done, and it's already the evening right now, Friday. But I need to be proving or showing documentation of the certificate of filing of the LLC, certificate of formation, LLC operating agreement, the EIN tax document, the contract, which is what I got from the wholesaler. That's here. And this is Joe forwarding me over to Justin Renner. And then most recent 2 months bank statements. Again, that's to show liquidity so that you can afford the interest only payments. And then rehab budget. Is this in yet? So this is very important that we understand. We have to have this budget down line by line. It can't just be well, I think it's going to be about 70 grand. They're pretty strict on this. So we need to actually have a budget per room, drywall, flooring, tape, texture, like everything that needs to be done line itemed out. And from what I hear, and I don't know anything about this draw process, which is where you actually get the funds to pay for the renovations and all that, but just quick talking with them, they're only going to loan out once projects are actually done. So we need to make sure that this line item budget is on there. So I'm working on this with my contractor right now. Again, I have 7 days getting this in. And then what I did is I reached out and I said, all right, hey, James, CPA, how fast can we get this done? Like, I need an LLC yesterday. And he forwarded on to somebody in their company. And they said, I can get it done in 1 to 2 business days in the state of Texas. Not too bad. So I'm like, perfect. So I send some information over, whatever. He says, yeah, just fill this out and then pay the invoice. So just to let you guys know, I was getting charged $1,200 for a formation. I know I can create this myself. I kind of started Googling and looking into it. It seems like a mess. It seems like a headache. Half this stuff I don't even understand. I've been with this CPA for a couple of years, so they kind of have all of my information already. I just got to get this thing going, and I want it done right. So I'm paying the invoice, and then here's what you have to fill out. Obviously, I'm not going to go through this and talk about everything that I'm doing personally, but this is the actual sheet. This is how they fill it out, and then what they're going to do is get it going. Well, I found out he's not going to start it till, or she is not going to start it till Monday. So I'm kind of like, I wish we were starting today. But from everything that I've heard, it's not going to be an issue. Now this here on the contract, my LLC is supposed to be on here, but they said, you know what, it's okay. It's at title, or if it goes into title, just as long as we have the LLC all finalized by Friday, we're good to go. So it's not as imperative right now to have that name in there, but I need to get all this information off, send it, and then Monday they will file it, and hopefully maybe Tuesday, but Wednesday at the latest, I will now have a brand new LLC, and I can go create a business bank account with that LLC. So now that I can track just every single expense from the flip for tax purposes. And then obviously we just want to track this stuff. We want to know what's going on. So again, full transparency is just, this is the process you have to go through. Just have this stuff in order. I am way behind the 8 ball on this, but again, I'm doing shit. Like I feel like I'm doing shit, and I'm actually pumped up about it because I've watched a year's worth of content, and obviously this stuff is, a lot of this info is out there, but you just get drowned with it. And that's what I feel like right now is there's just so much info. It gave me the analysis paralysis, and I'm like, I just got to get into it. I love this shit. I am learning so much right now. And again, I kind of feel like a badass, but I also feel like a dumbass too. So again, I need you guys commenting down below. What kind of info do you guys want on this? How do you want me to, is it more just showing the projects or really explaining this stuff, in detail, documenting everything I'm going through? Hopefully it's helping you guys with this stuff. So I'm going to file all this stuff, get every attachment, every document over, and just get everything off my plate that I possibly can here for Friday afternoon so that I can kind of just go into this weekend. Obviously, a lot of stuff's going to be closed, and have it all just done and off my plate. So that is where we're at. I got to get after it now. So we're going to catch you guys on the next video.